lines with purpose, growth, and impact. And to guide us through this particular night, we're talking building a career with purpose, lessons with experience. He's with us in studio. Mr. Sehularo, thank you so much. It's quite an honor, an inordinate honor to have you in studio. Good evening.
Thank you, Mooketsi, and thank you for having me, and good evening to the listeners.
Sure. Let's start where it should start.
Yes.
Who is Tebogo Sehularo beyond that huge title of the energy manager?
Simply, Tebogo Sehularo is just a kid from Obakeng trying to make it happen in this concrete jungle that we find ourselves in. That's simply putting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then if I complicate it, Tebogo is a graduate of TUT, and I'm here to make it work also.
Sure. What shaped your personality, values, and of course your ambitions growing up?
The personality, I think it was shaped by the presence of, both my parents inside me and the upbringing that we have in Obakeng. I think the way South Africa, progressed, Obakeng becoming, can I say the lost province? Because somehow the plan, they forgot about it.
Yeah.
The hunger to succeed because we were once the province. Now something happened. So I think that was that. Yes.
Sure. So many young people struggle with direction early on. What did your journey into university look like? And did you always know the career path you wanted?
No, I did not. I was intrigued by the title COO.
Okay.
I think that's what, and when I researched, it was someone who's responsible for systems. Hence why then I studied operations, because that was that. But I think it was the love of always being in the center of things. Progressed me towards that journey. And I find myself where I am right now because of that. And the journey started off as a volunteer. A lot of people think, and I see the profile as student assistant. I volunteered in a particular sector to actually gain access to. When I came into TUT, back then it was Technical in Pretoria.
Yes.
Then I volunteered to the clinic where you serve people. I tell a lot of people, when you serve, you actually create a purpose for yourself.
Yes.
So that's where it started, and it became something else. I guess I was rewarded by becoming a student assistant.
Sure.
That was a reward for showing up every day and willing to learn. That's how
you may have touched on that particular answer, which is the question that I wanted to go to next, around choosing a field like energy management, which is not always common, right? And I wanted to get into what influenced your decision and what were you hoping to achieve at that particular time. But you seem to have touched on it, the fact that you are fascinated by that COO type.
Look, let me put it this way, Mooketsi. The energy is part of the intentions that we did, but is as a result of what I did in the past. So you need to show up, show those that are in charge that you are able to do what you want to do in the end. So, and if I were to explain, a career with a purpose comes with intention. You need to know where you want to be, and you intentionally go to things that build you up. As a result, then you become what you think you are. So the need for an energy manager within TUT came as a result that ESCOM is failing us. So the university needs to sustain the business continuity for the students, because we're producing something. So we can't be found wanting in that element. And then when they then read that the ISP, what we call institutional strategic plan, one of them was to provide environmentally sustainable infrastructure. And this is a response by the DVC operation to say, we need to address this element. And then as a result, I'm here. And within the university, a lot of people applied, but the track record then speaks for yourself. I mean, I don't want to blow my own horn, but what I did in Nelspruit to bring it to standard, even maybe take it a little bit higher, was why I end up being here. The pressure is on me right now.
Sure. Listen, In case you've just walked in or you're listening for the first time, I'm in conversation with Mr. Tebogo Sehularo. He's the energy manager at the Tshwane University of Technology. We do this on an everyday Wednesday basis. It's in fact on a Wednesday basis. It's a plug a graduate feature. We bring very seasoned individuals in their respective fields to actually help us understand how you walk that journey, and we do that with the hope that it will reach you, a student who's probably going to get into what he has said is a treacherous job market. You need to be armed to the teeth with the knowledge necessary, and it is precisely for that reason that we begin these particular conversations right here on TUTFM. Now, Tebogo, looking back at your student years, what are some of the things you got right very early, and what are some of the mistakes that ended up, of course, teaching you the best lessons?
Look, I think the best lesson is what my girlfriend then, now wife, said to me. Then you get to realize that you are in a fortunate position because she was not studying then.
Okay.
She was actually in the labor force working in one of the restaurants.
Yeah.
And she said, and if I had an opportunity to study like you, I would make sure. And at that time I was failing because I was young.
Yeah.
And I was young and I was not responsible. And that stuck with me to say there are some people who wish to be where I am. And I think that was the turning point, and maybe could be the reason why she's my wife now.
Yeah.
So I then became intentional.
Yeah.
And that's another word that I got from her to say you need to be intentional with what you do. And she's been the pillar of my strength. So to say the best thing for me to get it right was her, and then after that it's the responsibility that I have towards her.
Sure.
That changed everything.
Sure. So there's often a big gap between academic life and the real world.
Yes.
What was your biggest reality check when you entered the workplace?
The biggest reality coming to academic is that most cases what we study is not what we do. You study something else, you get to industry, it's something that is not. And I think that's why I was fortunate enough, to have been a student assistant.
Sure.
Because that gave me an opportunity to choose a mentor, the person who's in the industry, in this case would be me now, who mentors, who gives you real life advice. So I think that's where I also got it right. I got, mentors within TUT that knew what they wanted to do. But if the mentor, the heart is not there to serve, I think you will, follow the wrong path. But academic is just the ability for you to think at a particular level and apply the concept.
Sure.
Yeah, but then you need what I normally call street life. You need to know how to apply the knowledge within the context that you are operating in. But the values need to be there.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. And I like the point that you made earlier on. I want to stay with that particular point because I think it's important. Around being young and probably not understanding the significance of the moment, not taking certain things seriously, which is where perhaps a first year student, a second year student is at the moment, fancy free and footloose.
Yes.
May miss a lot of things there. What advice do you have for them?
Look, allow yourself to make mistakes.
Sure.
But the moment you repeat the mistake, you are actually acting against those that believe in you.
Sure.
And I've got this quote that I say, you don't owe anyone except those who cared for you to be where you are.
Sure.
Those are the people you owe. I mean, if you look back, the sacrifices the parents, the mother will do to make sure you wake up, giving you the last 50 rands to go and write, and you don't write, you drink alcohol, and at the end of the year, you bring nothing. That has to count for something. And there's also, I'm a firm believer in Jesus, by the way, that Mooketsi. I've got this thing that I normally say, whatever you do, make sure you glorify God. And by doing so, you also improve other people's lives. So those are the things that I am aligning with when I do about that. So with the kids, allow yourself to make mistakes, but learn for those mistakes because you are as a result of mistakes or things that did not go right. But you learn and you become positive.
This is a very rich conversation. There's a lot you can pick from this. You can interact with the show. Feel free to do exactly that on 072-513-4390. And of course, our guest this evening, Tebogo Sehularo, is the energy manager at the Tshwane University of Technology. It's a Plug a Graduate feature. We're talking building a career with purpose, lessons with experience. Now, many graduates feel underprepared when they start working. In your case, what skills did you feel you lacked, and how did you develop them?
The issue was technical skills. I've mastered the art because of previous experience, how to interact with people, but the technically looking at the job was where I lacked. And I allowed myself to be led. You know, a lot of people mess it up there. If you want to lead, and this is where I'm going. I'm going to lead TUT one day, and that's where I'm going. And I'm intentional about that. I'm telling you. I also expressed it to the DVC that I'm learning from you guys. So by saying that, you then allow yourself to follow so that you can lead. So that is the element that a lot of people miss, because they arise because of the noise. They think they are ready. You might be in the front, but you are not ready to take the podium. So allow yourself to follow so that you can lead.
And open yourself up to lessons. Be receptive.
So once you follow, you learn.
Yeah.
I mean, I forgot the idiom in Setswana to say "tsela kopele" or something, but it means that if those that have passed before you, you learn from those that have passed before you.
Hey.
I knew you would know that.
Sure. I'm Zerast born, by the way. I just thought I should mention
that. I knew you would know. Yes.
All right. So rejection is also part of the journey, especially for many young people. Did you face any setback or rejections early in your career, and how did they shape you? I know they can break a lot of people.
Look, I've been rejected many times.
Yeah.
Many times, including in TUT. And it's painful when you have to deal, because remember, when you apply or you want to, you already tell yourself, you already see yourself.
Yeah.
And then the new age thing is, a lot of people say manifest. But today, funny enough, one of my colleagues, Linda van der Meijden, and my direct line, Tate Mospeo, said something in different occasions.
Yeah.
But they meant something. If it's meant for you, you can't miss it.
Sure.
We were speaking about two different things, but the tone was, if it's meant for you. The other one that I learned, that a lot of people would pray, but they are not ready for the opportunities. So you prepare as if you're already there, so that when the opportunity comes, you just fit like a glove. You see? So that is what I would say to graduates. If you plan to be the principal, because I know in social group a lot of people are doing, you need to start behaving like a principal. Because they must see the end that you want to be in your actions. Then it becomes.
In other words, what I understand you to be saying, that this is just my general understanding, is that sometimes you can look for those opportunities. Even if you got them, you're not ready for those.
Yes, that's simply what I'm saying, is that the opportunity must find you ready.
Sure.
You can't be saying, when I get there, this, I think I'm going. Once you say I think, you must know what you're going to do with the power. Hence why they say, to whom much is given, much is expected. I already know what I need to do. It's the how within the systems that TUT has created that I need to play around. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm paid for that.
Sure. It all boils down to the intentionality that you were talking about earlier on. Now, sometimes the pressure to have it all figured out can be overwhelming. How did you deal with uncertainty and self-doubt in the early stages of your career?
I consulted a lot. That's why you remember, you doubt yourself, and when you're supposed to make a decision that stands out, that this is your decision, you become scared. But the mentor, that's why I said the mentor is critical, because then he or she needs to ask you difficult questions that makes you reflect, not guide, not give you that guides you, because anything you do goes entirely with the strategy of what you want to achieve. So it becomes important to reflect. And is it what retrospection, or am I still doing what I said I would do if I was given this opportunity? You look back. So
that introspection.
You can't. The future can't exist without the past. So you need to know where we're coming from. And gratitude, I think gratitude is another element that I need to put. You need to be thankful for all the opportunities that you have. That's key.
And I think that's important, because a lot of people get opportunities. Immediately you want the next opportunities without realizing what you have now. And my understanding is, one bird in hand is worth two in the bush. All right, now there's also the issue of expectations versus reality. That space can be very tricky. How did you deal with? In fact, did your career turn out the way you imagined, or did it take a rather surprising, unexpected turn?
To this stage, I will say no. Everything is still according to plan. It's still according to plan. Like I said, I'm going to be one of the senior management within TUT. So the plan is to get there, and there's phases or stages that I need to pass through. And I think so far I'm on the right path because that is what I'm doing.
Sure.
There is expectations to deliver. And at this stage, I'm not yet disappointed. And you need to learn how to manage stakeholders. You need to, it's what we say, or sometimes what we don't say to those that expect us to do things. For an example, I'm sitting here as a manager. There's someone who's sitting and said, maybe this guy will appoint me. So how I respond to him will give him confidence to apply for something else. You see? So it's how we say we need to know how to manage that. And I need to also accept when I'm not delivering according to the expectations and seek guidance to say, guys, I'm struggling. That's why we have things like benchmarking. We have things like, collaborations. We need to learn, because you'll be surprised where the help that you get from a random person that you didn't even think about. So you need to do that.
Sure. So let's move into this space now. Building a career with a purpose might sound easy, but I can tell a lot of people are failing at this. Let's talk about purpose, a word that's often used but not always understood. What does building a career with purpose mean to you personally?
To me, purpose, I'll define it, or the synonym in my own dictionary would be impact. If building a career with impact, a lot of students study because of, at the time when I applied, it was what was available.
Sure.
But we don't do what we used to do back in the days, where we do a personality test. You are leaning towards this. Then we do that test where you say you should do this and that, and they're trying to identify which career would suit you. We somehow did not do that, because now it's the first man on the ball who applies first, gets into it. And you get to realize that's why you would have engineers that registered engineers will do in radio would do something because there was a misalignment, because how we grew up. Remember that the parents did something wrong, and I don't blame them. That's the information that was there. They would push a child to a particular career because that's what they wanted, and that's what they would they want to show Mike, but not seeing the kid dies. But at the same time, that is something that we did culturally. But at the same time, you get other cultures, other races. They are intentional about how the kid goes, and they become something else. You see, but we don't have that luxury. Remember, we are catching up from the 400 years that we left behind. So we need to catch up. So you need to identify what is it that sticks with you. I wrote it down and I said, look, what you love is not always what would make money or impact. You see, sometimes the firstborns, I think me and you will have to do what we have to do so that the brothers coming back will get the luxury. And I would say we're standing on shoulders of giants that sacrifice themselves for us to actually sit here and do what we do. So we owe it to them to do our best. Show up and do our best.
And I think if everybody had that understanding, that the foundation was laid, and you also have the responsibility to pass the baton on to the posterity, but you also have the responsibility to lay the foundation for what's coming. I think that's a very, very powerful statement that you're raising, and I like how you phrased that, the manner in which you pack your statement, simply seminal. I'll have to tell you, we do indeed have the responsibility. Now, many graduates chase opportunities for survival first. How can young people balance the need to earn with the desire to find purpose? Always a tricky balance.
Look, at this stage, the unemployment rate is over 30%, of the South African population. It's over 30%. It's more, and I might be unpopular, but say this, we need to move from employment. And I think that's why the university now went for entrepreneur in the future to move our students from becoming, already TUT is supplying over 50% to the labor force, government, and we everywhere. But we need now to become the employers. We need to do that. And I think TUT has get itself to support that. So I'm simply saying to the students, I'm sitting as an energy manager. I need solutions to energy. Come and sit down with me. Come and sit down with me. I mean, IDC is doing a lot to support young black people. Come, I'm putting out there to say the platform is there.
Yeah.
But we need people now to come in and actually be the ones that drive. BE is there. You know, I was the chairperson of BMF, and we did that. But we need the students to shift their mind from being employee to employer. Then they start to be investors.
Sure.
That's what I think we need at this moment.
Yeah.
But in my current portfolio, I need a lot of black industrialists to come and sit down with me, so that the statement that I spoke about taking over for the next generation, it happens. There's no way that you will have someone from Eastern Cape saying that he wants the best for Soshanguve, when the Soshanguve people don't want the best for themselves.
Absolutely.
So we need to have people from Soshanguve wanting and needing the best for themselves, and we need to guide them.
Sure.
So that is the platform I'm saying. Thank you for the platform that makes, but I'm calling all those that have solutions, so that we have business continuity within TUT. Come and have a conversation. We'll see how we play around, but this is an opportunity for you guys. And that's the nice part about having someone that is accessible, meaning accessible, accessible to say, let me have a conversation with you. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now let's get into this particular space, which I find not discussed often. I mean, in your role within energy and sustainability, how do you see your work contributing to the bigger impact beyond just the job?
Look, this is not going to be a 30-day transformation thing. The challenge we are facing is that we need to reduce the risk of TUT not being operational. For an example, if we didn't have, solar outside, something happens, we can't continue. And you've got clients that paid for the slot because it's the other provinces don't understand. So the whole idea is to reduce cost. I don't want to go in, but already we are in millions, and I'm speaking about this campus alone. We are in millions in terms of cost. We need to ensure sustainability. So you can't have a client coming in and going into the residences and all of a sudden there's no power, and all we can say is sorry, as if we didn't foresee that, we didn't plan. So the idea is to quickly as possible reduce that. We were embarrassed many months ago when the mayor of Tshwane switched off. It's a misunderstanding, that's something that they didn't go back to the media to rectify. It's a political stunt that we had to rectify. But because our internal systems were also, in a mess, that's why they got away with it. The whole idea is to ensure business continuity, sustainability for students while reducing cost. So the risk we need to eliminate altogether. So it's not necessarily only about solar, where a lot of people think install solar and that's it. It's not about that. There's legislations that we need to adhere to about the energy. We need to start reducing our energy. We're going to be fined as from 2031. So we need to do renewable energy. So any emissions that we do, we're going to be taxed on them. Now, we don't want a situation that it's the management. The forethinking is that any cost that we derive, we then put it to the student. But we know our population. We take the whole country. The whole country. So we then want to reduce that and make sure that it's sustainable. University at some point discussed the issue of having a 24-hour university. We need to start having those conversations, because that would increase our population in terms of students. We are currently on 65,000. So we can double that if we run 24 hours. But the infrastructure needs to support the thinking. you see.
Sure.
So
These conversations simply speaks of a future that is bright. People are thinking, people are beginning to think about your future, even as you attend your classes to prepare for a future that would look very, very different. And of course, our guest tonight on a Plug a Graduate feature is Mr. Tebogo Sehularo, Energy Manager at the Tshwane University of Technology. We're talking building a career with purpose, lessons with experience. Now, purpose can evolve over time, right? Has your definition of success and purpose changed as you've grown in your career?
yes, it has. At some time, at the beginning, it was about the biggest, can I say, post level or check. It was about that.
Yeah.
But then I realized that I was lonely. I was the only guy within my guys that has money.
Okay.
And then now I'm starting to say the guys only like me for money.
Yeah, sure.
It happens.
Sure.
And then jealousy comes in and then everything, and you start to be lonely.
Sure.
But as roles changed, you get to realize the impact when Magogo is sitting there. Ever started I working here? I'm impressed with you. Thank you for this. What I told my family, and you start to see the impact that you bring in other people's life.
Yeah.
You see the child that was born when you started. Now the person is in tertiary. You are invited to the graduation because you helped with something.
Yeah.
So it went from materialistic to actually now impacting in other people's life. I'm still in love with the old we empower people because I could see it. I could see it. So now I need to see the business guys.
Sure.
So that's how it has changed for me.
Sure. And I think it goes back to what you said earlier on when I asked you how you understand a career without with purpose. You said impactful. All right. So some young professionals feel stuck in jobs that don't align with their passion, and this is what you were talking about, misalignment at one stage. What advice would you give to somebody in that situation?
You need to reset. We tend to put too much pressure on ourselves, and we make those that we made the reasons why we are doing this to dictate. And this life is very short. If you don't do what you purposefully came here to do, you end up not being what you were supposed to be. By as a result, you don't become the best in what you do. So we need to take the leap of trust in God. Trust, like I said, I'm a believer, and I apologize if it's not aligned with your radio station, but I do believe that you need to trust in God and take the risk. Give it to Him. Take the risk and say, this is what I intend to do, and with you by my side, I know I will. But everything works out in the end.
Sure.
Experience has taught me that everything works out in the end.
You just need to stay on the right side of things. So there's often pressure from society, family, and peers. How important is it for graduates, though, to define success on their own terms?
You have to learn to disappoint a lot of people. My son, daughter normally say YOLO, you only live once. And by saying that, you don't get a repeat show to live your life. At least if not being successful, let's say he lived the life he wanted. I think that is the difference between us and other races. They actually do. But because we've told ourselves the Louis Vuitton, the Diamond Walk is someone living their life, but we don't know what the person does at night.
Sure.
But, we define that is the wrong. So you have to do what makes you happy. As a result, purposefully so.
Sure.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about skills that matter in today's world.
Yes.
It's an important conversation because we're seeing a bit of a shift in the skill requirement. Beyond qualifications, what are the top 3 skills every graduate should develop?
Look, the first one that I always look for when, in interviews is confidence. The ability. So if I were to rate it in terms of, society, I would say sales. You need to sell something to me. And selling comes with confidence.
Yes.
So to me, it would be first you need to have confidence in what you're saying. Then you need to sell me that. And this is where you sell yourself to me. And then you need to identify an opportunity. Once you identify an opportunity, you can plug yourself anyway. And as a result, that when you identify, you solve a problem. So it comes in that you need to have the confidence. It's like if you're not confident that this is what you're gonna do, you're not gonna get in the first door.
Sure.
So once you have that confidence, then you sell yourself. Once you sell yourself, then you solve a problem. That's where you tell it, why me? You see, so those are the things you get. Graduate repeating the same thing. When they get to interview, and in the interview, this is a tip. Interviewers or the panel appoints someone who they are comfortable with. And I tell a lot of people, if we are not comfortable, the fact that you are shortlisted, you qualify.
Sure.
We're done with that.
Sure.
Now, when you get to the interview, it's an issue of who are we comfortable with. So your personality needs to come out, depending on position you are applying for. And you need to be able to read the room. So those are my tips to say you need to be able to sell yourself confidently. So and I'm not saying go overboard and lie. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be creative in how you present yourself to us, why we must take you. Because once you leave, then we discuss, hey, I like this guy. We don't say this one qualifies. We say, I like this guy. I like him too. So already you've got two people behind you.
Yeah.
Then it's time for us to teach you the job.
Sure. That's a very important tip. Employers will always go, and this gives you an added advantage, whether an employer is comfortable with you. You can talk about being shortlisted. Congratulations for getting there. But then again, there are other aspects that you may not have prepared for. That might have to do with your attitude. That might have to do with smaller things. That might be determinant, a factor, ultimately, in terms of whether you get that job or not. Say somebody who sits there in interviews, makes decision. It's an employer himself, makes decision on whether you can get that job or not. And he's telling you this is the thinking of employers. It's not only him saying that. And that's the quality. I thought that's very important as we take a break. That's the kind of quality of conversation that we bring from people who have walked the journey. You can never find somebody here, because the purpose is to really show you the ropes and the road. And that somebody need to have walked that road before. And we do exactly that. Tebogo Sehularo has done exactly that. Our guest this evening, and he's an energy manager at the Tshwane University of Technology. We're talking building a career with purpose, lessons with experience on Plug a Graduate. We take a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the conversation right here on TUT FM 96.2. We amplify voices and empower lives. I'm back after this.
Are you a recent graduate or know somebody who is navigating the job market maze? Are you looking for that perfect job opportunity to kickstart your career? Well, look no further, because TTFM 96.2 has got you covered. Introducing Plug a Graduate show, debuting on April 10th at 7:30 on the Groundbreakers. Join us every Wednesday evening for 1 hour of career-changing insights and opportunities, from interviews with successful alumni to spotlight on industry leaders and recruitment agencies. Plug a Graduate is your one-stop destination for all things career-related, added with practical skills, invaluable advice, and real-time job opportunities. You won't want to miss a single episode. Tune in live on TTFM 96.2 or the TTFM website and the online streaming platform. Don't just dream about your future, make it happen with Plug a Graduate Show. Join the movement and unlock the door to your professional success.
The Groundbreakers.
So that conversation once again is brought to an abrupt end in that fashion, and we walk away. And that is what I was explaining to him, that listen, it's irrelevant for me who gets to answer, as long as we know what is happening. That's what I'm interested in, the story.
All your boiling topics and their burning questions.
Not interested in characters, I'm not interested in who answers. But I would assume that when your number is there, it is put there, well, for a reason.
He cracks the pavement.
And if it's a number, I'll drop a call, and that is not going to be a very easy easy call, how are you call. Of course, I'll ask you how are you.
To get you the answers so you have the full story.
But we definitely have to get into more deeper issue. And he's not ready to give me answers. He doesn't have the answers that I want. Suggest to me that I'm backing the wrong tree to try and follow up with what is happening there. Or whether he could be aware, he could be the right man, just not in a mood to answer, just doesn't have the right answers at the moment. Yeah, but he could say that. Don't worry about what it means. Of course, it means you are useless.
Catch Obakeng Mooketsi on the Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.
TUT-FM has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Independent Communication Authority of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving you content that is fair, programming that is not harmful, and news that is accurate. If you think that we are not living up to the code, then you can lodge a complaint to the station manager. Direct complaints to mahapaek@tut.ac.za or call 012-382-9719. We will respond within 7 working days. If you are not satisfied with our response, then you can escalate your complaint to the Independent Communication Authority of South Africa. Direct your complaint via email to bimashego@icasa.org.za or via post to Independent Communication Authority of South Africa, 350 Witch Hazel Avenue, Eco Park Estate, Centurion, 0144. Or call 012-568-3000. TUT-FM 96.2, amplifying voices, empowering lives.
Welcome back from a very quick ad break. This is TUT-FM 96.2. We amplify voices and empower lives. It's a plug a graduate feature. We do this on an every Wednesday basis. And our guest tonight is Tebogo Sehularo, the energy manager at the Tshwane University of Technology. And the topic of discussion this evening is, of course, building a career with purpose, lessons with experience. And we come back and of course finish off in the last hour as we continue with the conversation. Now, the workplace, we were talking about how it has evolved. Now, in your field specifically, what opportunities exist within energy and sustainability that young people may not be aware of?
Okay, maybe let me start by explaining energy is just one part.
Okay.
Of one part of my field. I'm in building an estate. A building an estate is literally the landlords of every university because we do compliance, we do everything.
Yes.
Part of that, then we have energy.
Oh,
so
yeah.
opportunities are there. We need space management, we need planning. So every discipline that the university has has a leg within building an estate.
Yeah.
Like I said, it goes back to who are we comfortable working with?
Yeah.
Because we are here to serve. So in Mbombela, when I was operations manager, I used to explain this concept to say, I'm responsible for opening and closing the campus. So anything in between must get, a stamp from me. So the SRC would know. I said, if you want to strike, call me first. Then we must agree. But I would solve those issues before they emanate. Then you've got contractors who want to become mafias within. Then you need to sit down with them and say, what you need to TUT is a metric to come in and, a CIBDC document. So you need to manage those things. But there's a lot of opportunities within operations as a whole. Even a marketing person who explains to the client, why are we doing 1, 2, 3? Because a mere technician doesn't know how to do that. So that's why I'm saying every discipline is accepted, but depending on how you bottle yourself or how you present yourself, we will find a need for you.
There's a growing emphasis though on green economies. You touched on that earlier on, in sustainable development. How can graduates position themselves to be part of this future?
The green economy is becoming the new Bitcoin. I mean, Iran,
the new currency.
The new currency, and then it's because Iran closed all the tap.
Yeah.
Now we're feeling that in terms of petrol and diesel. So the whole idea is that how do we go off the grid, but without killing ESCOM? So anyone who can solve that issue and say, look, reliable energy, that's why I mentioned it's not only solar, it's renewable, using the environment to create what we need to sustain ourselves. So anyone who can solve that, I mean, that's where the gold is right now. So anyone who's looking at that, please contact me.
You can do that. Can find the solution to that. You've struck oil. And well, Tebogo is saying you should contact him. Now, soft skills. This is often, once again, being spoken about, but again, often underestimated. Which soft skills have played the biggest role in your success?
I'll tell you this that made me stand out.
Yeah.
Responding immediately to queries or uncertainty that the client would have. I would be the first one to say, we don't have water. You know, the client must think, no, they did say, because it gives them the impression that we are in charge of the situation, even if we are not. So once a person is used to something and you take it away, it aggrieves them, if I can put it that way. So we need to manage that. So the soft skill is be the first to tell the person the bad news, because then you are in control of how you explain the bad news. Imagine someone passes away, God forbid, and the doctor comes to you, they died. After you've asked, where is this? But if they come to you, look, something happened, a lot of went wrong, we knew, and unfortunately, he did not make it. You then accept. The reality is going to hit you later, but you manage that. So that's one soft skill that made me. If you send me an email now, I would respond. If you call me, I would say, look, I'm busy, I will call you back. You see, that's what part that made me stand out, and I think from my other colleagues, I've managed.
Doesn't it get sometimes a little bit messy, especially when you have a hectic day?
It does, but like I'm saying, if everyone feels appreciated, if you call back and say, look, I was busy, what was the issue? Is it resolved? So you need to manage that. That's the soft skill, that replying in time or on time. I don't know. Even if you deliver bad news, that's like, even if you deliver, for an example, with graduates, they will apply for a position, not get feedback. That's a problem, because the person needs to know, what did I do wrong within my CV? So if someone says, look, we looked at your CV, but there were other people. So then he then changes his presentation to make himself. Is there a way you can tell me where I got it wrong? No, the ones we got had more experience. So we opted for them because this is a short-term period. So those are the things that the person then grows from himself. So you give feedback, whether good or bad. If I put it that way, the soft skill, give feedback. Yes.
And that's a tricky one. I think it should go for a lot of people as an advice, because normally people would love to deliver good news quickly, right? When it comes to bad news, you probably don't want to spoil somebody's day. You don't want to ruin their day. But you are saying you should do it, even if it's uncomfortable.
The good news only creates an expectation that I've got this. And even when the person has got it, and I think that's what gave birth to mafias, because if they know someone, they then say to you, there's a tender, tell me. But you must be able to say, no, that's not you. That's not you. You must be able to say that. You manage the responses and the feedback.
Now, many young people say, we don't have opportunities. And I've heard that a lot. Now, from your perspective, is it a lack of opportunities or lack of access and awareness?
I don't want to be controversial like Gwede Montage, but at the same time, the academic in me is saying, let's define what you mean by opportunities. You see? And if we're saying, then the other part is saying, if we're saying there's a lot of opportunities, what do we mean? Because at this stage, the government has designed, and I apologize for speaking against the government, they've managed to find ways to keep our learners or graduate busy, not employ them. There's other institutions or other departments that I know that would have a student assistant for 10 years. The person is there and he can't move because he's thinking, if I move, someone gets employed.
Yeah.
If and then you get stuck in there and you can't, manage your life. So it also boils down to the leadership. The person must be able to say, look, come in here for 12 months. I'll give you this skill. I'll do. And there's another element that I was explaining to one of the interns to say, be careful of being hooded. The line manager will be comfortable with you. And he doesn't want to share you within the department so you learn as much as you are.
Sure.
That you should. Then he ends up holding you, then you stay here. In the next 2 years when you leave, you haven't learned anything. You only know too much about one thing. So which makes you not relevant for the market. Sure. And on your CV, you do say, I've worked at TUT. And everybody's excited that they're getting a graduate, but you were hooded. So you need to identify those situations. And it goes back to being intentional, where you want. Start at the end and reverse.
Sure. Fascinating discussion. I'll have to tell you, Tebogo Sehularo, helping us move through this rather convoluted discussion, is an energy manager at TUT. And of course, we're talking building a career with purpose, lessons with experience. Now, networking is often intimidating for graduates. How can someone start building meaningful professional relationships from scratch?
It starts at the tertiary level when you get in by saying hi to the next guy that you don't know. It starts there. And then what course are you doing? It starts there because then you become known to someone that had nothing to offer you, but was more important for you to go through the day.
Yeah.
You see, that's how you network. And again, there's a lot of activities that TUT has presented through the student life and governance that people think it's a job, but it's not meant. It's meant to foster relationships so that you get easy. I mean, I did paramedic. I was in the clinic and I did the paramedic thing.
Yeah.
I can tell you now, I've got people that are CEOs that we just reach out. Hey, Jay, how are you? I need 1 to 2. Can you take 2 to 3 students? And it works that way because the person would remember you based on the emotion that you gave him the last time.
Yeah.
So that's how networking works. You go to the spaces that you want to be associated with and you make a meaningful impact there just by showing up.
Yeah. And of course, there's another issue about the importance of personal branding. How can graduates position themselves to stand out in a competitive job market?
It's a problem because right now there's no one who's regulating the media. There's a misconception that when you trend, you are the in thing.
Yes.
I've got many students that came here and they were training for the wrong things, but they were intentional, and the novice ones think that's how. So you end up doing what you should not be doing, and it always comes to bite you.
Yeah.
It always comes. I mean, there's videos, X-rated videos that a person will do. That's another tip. If you have to record it, it's not meant for your eyes. It's meant for someone. So don't be part of that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be part of that because you're consuming it. You're there. You're experiencing it. Why do you need to record it?
Then that's not for you.
It's for someone else. In most cases, the ladies fall victim because it's not their ideas.
Yeah.
It's someone's idea to do that. You see, and it comes back to haunt you. So personal branding, it's like what I said. Start at the end. If you see yourself as a politician, present yourself in a politician manner and work backwards. But I normally say politics is about numbers. So if you want to be a politician when you're in TUT, you're in the wrong business. Because here we create thinkers. And then politicians are followers. You see, thinkers and followers. And I'm saying that with the utmost respect.
Sure.
Yes. So it's here we don't create followers. It's not a church. It's not a politician. It's where we create thinkers. So you need to be independently think and know one day you're going to account for what you said.
And while you edit thinking, you need to think entrepreneurially.
Yes.
At least that's where the institution is going.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, internship and entry-level roles are key stepping stones. What should graduates focus on during these early opportunities?
Look, the cycle of TUT is for you to actually get into the workforce of TUT, whether student assistant, internship, the cycle is late October, January.
Yeah.
Your decision you will know by January after registering, because we only deal with bona fide students.
Sure.
Because if we say you are a student assistant, you need to be a student that is assisting. And that's a 4-hour job, 19 hours a week. But that is where you need to attack or go and present because that's where we start having the conversation. We need a student assistant because that's where the budget is done in September. We need to accommodate this. The problem is lately the students assistant are treated like a full-time staff members that no one wants to take, because then they come there and they entitled to certain things. They form part of things that they should not.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them, because they want to be seen that I'm here, that you remember me.
Yeah.
But the guidance that you receive from me, don't be part of something that end up they would act against you.
Sure.
Don't.
Sure.
So rather show up, do what you have to do, and let the system need you. Like I said, if you are in business, solve a problem. If you are an employee, create necessity for you. Because AI is coming.
Sure.
AI is coming, and AI is simply saying to everyone, let's reduce the number of people we need for a particular job. It's not replacing humans, just say let's reduce.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. So mentorship.
Yes.
It's a key space, as you nodding furiously as I talk about that. Of course, it can change the trajectory of a career. Did you have mentors along your way? And how can young people find the right mentor?
I had what I themed or called my mentors. And I think it's only one that I told that, I want you to mentor me. That is Stephen Munisi, because I was intrigued in what he does.
Yeah.
But the rest was people that had a particular skill that I knew I lacked. And it started with this Dr. Anna Sifolosha. She was into academics. Then I said, birds of a feather flock together.
Sure.
I stood next to her, and I'm a graduate today, doing my PhD. Then you get people that are in high places that you align with in terms of ethics and values, and you see the impact that they're doing.
Yeah.
You literally say, look, I want to be this guy. And then you do that. We subconsciously have mentors that we don't call mentors. You have someone, DJ First, maybe you will look after him, his DJing skill, and you look at, but you won't call him a mentor because you don't have access to him. But he's dealing with you indirectly.
Sure.
So it's very important to choose someone that affects or impacts positively, because the end product, then we think we know what it's going to be. Even though it might be a little bit different or delayed, we think we know that if I follow this guy, there's no way that I can't be this. So mentors are greatly important in what you do, because they give you what we call a baseline in terms of looking back.
Sure. In case you've just walked in, you have arrived at the right time. We are in the middle of a conversation here with Tebogo Sehularo, the energy manager at the Tshwane University of Technology. It's a Plug a Graduate feature, and we're talking building a career with purpose, lessons with experience. Let's be honest here. The journey is not always smooth, and I think that we need to be brutally honest about. What has been one of your toughest moments in your career?
My career, I think it's when I left Pretoria to Mbombela 2022. I left my wife, and there I was challenged for the past 4 years because I took the kids. Now, every night you deal with a wife that is alone. Now you have to be the mother. And you get to work. You have to be the leader that you are expected. So you are in touch with your feminine side because of the kids.
Yes.
You get to work, you must be in touch with your fatherly side. And I think the support that you get from family or those that you love, that those, maybe let me put it, those that care about your well-being is very important. And I underestimated it because I was never outside or without that for the longest time. So the moment that it went away, then you start to realize that I needed the support. Because from daily basis, you are tested in a sense that you are expected to make hard decisions, and you need your confidant to say, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that. And when you call your mentor, he's asking you questions to reflect, and you start doubting yourself until you get to the person that knows why we're doing this thing and says, no, you need to hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so the support from those that care about you,
Yeah.
I think that is the critical part that you need. Even when you leave home, when you apply, say I'm going to TUT, there's someone who cares about your well-being. Imagine leaving Zanini and coming here and no one asks, where are you? Did you arrive safe? So those are the mental issues that you need to deal with.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, very trying and testing indeed. Burnout is also another real issue, especially among young professionals. How do you maintain balance and protect your mental well-being?
I thought, remember this is a learning curve. At some point I was weak. I then resorted to, I don't want to say I was, alcoholism, if I don't want to put it that way, to alcohol. But that took me away from the journey that I was supposed to be. And when I made the decision that I don't want alcohol anymore, it was a very difficult decision. But you need to find a coping mechanism.
Yes.
I put it that way.
Yes.
The idea that I saw, if you say I'm stopping and you don't replace it, it comes back tenfold. So you need to replace it with something.
Yeah.
So I was blessed with the opportunity to study. So if I have free time, the mind is that you should be studying. So I managed to do 2 masters when I was in there within a space of 2 years. This side, I'm keeping myself busy. So I'm saying, in order for you to succeed, you need to keep yourself busy and replace habits that don't speak with your journey.
Sure.
So replace them with something. Don't say I'm stopping it. Replace it with something. So if you used to go to the gym and you were thriving and you no longer go to the gym, you have replaced the gym with something that doesn't add value to you.
Sure.
So find that quickly and then replace it with something.
Find a new hobby. We all know what becomes of an idle mind, right? It becomes a devil's workshop. Now, there's also comparison, especially in the age of social media. How can graduates stay focused on their own journeys?
The comparison will always be there. I mean, we indirectly doing it. Even yourself, you will say, "How did I fare with it?" It's all, but it should be done. It should be done in the right context.
Yeah.
So the saying says you compare apples with apples. You see. So if you compare yourself with a Tebogo, just find out if you share the same background with Tebogo, same childhood, same everything.
Yeah.
Before you start comparing with him. And there's this wrong theme that people call competitiveness. When a person is comparing himself with something, I can blind, and he says, "Nah, I'm competitive." It's not. Once you start blowing your own horn, it simply says you are in the wrong. You're in the wrong lane, because those who would clap for you are the ones that care for you and they have been there for you, and you will get fans along the way.
Sure.
You will get people because of your principles and your values.
Yes.
You see.
Yeah.
So you would definitely get people.
All right. Now sometimes success takes time.
Yes.
It does, and I think it should, so that we all understand the value thereof. What should you say to someone, or what would you say to them as an advice for somebody who feel like they are falling behind? And I suspect we have a lot of people who feel that way.
At this current climate, a lot of people feel that way.
Sure.
And like I'm saying, the journey is like an investment. If you do an investment with your financial service provider, you put 20 rands and they project. Remember, the plan is like a projection. That in future, this is what's going to happen. And you should also have the other side of the coin, because there's 2 things in this earth. It's either right or wrong.
Sure.
We don't have a middle. So once you do those projections, you need to also accept, should it not happen. That's why I always say you should have plan B of plan B. Should it not happen? And then once you have plan B of plan B, then you say, but why would it not happen?
Yeah.
Then the plan A becomes the plan A of plan A. So plan B of plan B, plan A plus plan A. And like I said, you need to know when to quit. Say no. That's like they say, winners know when to quit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So if you're win, you need to know to accept defeat.
So let's now take a bit of a dive into the future outlook and advice. What excites you most about the future of your industry?
I think.
Yeah, and I can see your eyes.
You got me.
Yeah. What excites you the most about what's happening in your space?
At this stage, I'm looking towards the future because there's a little bit of an excitement because we are turning the tide in terms of my industry, the infrastructure. We're thinking in a manner that I feel involved.
Yes.
In the past, the big guys would talk and I was lost because I was a little man within the department.
Yes.
But now I sit at the table and I see where the future is going. That's
Sure.
why I'm saying the ISP that we just released speaks of a future that I want to be part of. And for me to be part of, I need to start working today. So that's the excitement. And hence why I'm saying I'm planning the future. I want to take the baton.
Yeah.
Because then I'm coming with generational history to give to those. Yeah. So I'm positioning myself to be a tool within that process. So the future that I see, I want to be in it.
Can see it.
I can see it. I can see it. I want to be in it. And we are going to be in this. And I said, remember when I told you? I said, I do remember, Tebogo. But you'll be the manager then.
Of course, we are in conversation with Tebogo Sehularo, Energy Manager at the Tshwane University of Technology. Fascinating discussion. And I hope you're taking note because this sort of advice will be quite important as you navigate the world of work. It can be very tricky, it can be very choppy, such choppy waters, and this advice will come in handy as and when you need them. What trends should graduates start paying attention to?
The trend is being responsive. I mean, if you look at the market changes overnight. One moment Bitcoin is the in thing, one moment oil is it, one moment gold is. So we need to anticipate and be responsive urgently. Hence why I said, if you don't prepare for opportunity will pass you. So we need to be prepared. And hence why I'm saying plan A of plan A, plan B of plan B. So anywhere where the future slots, you were prepared for that.
Yeah, sure.
Because you made a plan. And I need to say this about Obakeng.
Yeah.
There's a mistake that we do and it becomes a culture where even us as the parents, we don't plan to a point where,
yeah.
And you are simply saying, I am going to be a future problem to some system that created. And that's why you go to your UCT, they said, no, ma'am, this is how. You go to, this is how.
Yeah.
And you feel that you don't want. So our university is somehow lenient because we understand sometimes it's not an issue that people don't stick to the rules.
Yes.
It's because we come from the very same place that was failed by the government, not necessarily, but the government, they did not do what they're supposed to do. So for the kids to engage in this, so we then break the rules. But at the same time, it puts a strain, and the strain is a good thing because it puts a need for. So if you look at all the universities, I think we are the highest in employing in terms of the youth, but we can't generate that into permanency.
Sure.
Because it's not funding.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Sure. So if a young listener is listening tonight and want to follow a similar path like yours, what practical first steps should they take immediately after the show?
After the show, I would say learn, right? I don't want to say learn this, learn that.
Yeah.
Learn. Whatever you choose, learn. 2, show up. You need to show up. Even when it's tough, show up.
Yeah.
3, do what you have to do to the best of your ability. Because there's always someone watching.
Sure.
There's always someone watching. And this is what I used to say to Mbombela.
Yeah.
I think I was the highest in terms of student assist I took 15 or so
in
one department.
Yeah.
And I said, someone is always watching. They are still there as we speak.
Sure.
Do your best.
Does not matter how you feel or how tough it is, show up. It resonates with an advice that I got when somebody said to me, it does not matter how you feel. You have to wake up, dress up, and show up.
Yes.
So I mean, if you could design an ideal graduate, if if you could design an ideal graduate, what qualities, mindset, and habit would they have?
Look, a graduate, there's this perception that once you graduate, you know. And I want to debunk it. I'll say, once you graduate, and this was told to me by Dr. Inslin, when I was doing my diploma, and he said, now that you've graduated, it's 2003 now. And he says, I'm not revealing my age, 2000, sure. And he said, now that you've graduated, you don't know everything. You just know so much about one thing. And the world has a lot of things. So the ideal graduate would be the one that knows almost everything. I hope I've answered. I don't want to.
You have.
I don't want to package it into.
I think you have quite concisely and succinctly there, quite clear indeed. So reflecting on your entire journey, Tebogo, what are you most proud of?
The first thing when you say proud of came to my mind. I'm proud of TUT. I'm proud of the opportunities that TUT has given me. And I'm saying this because I came as a young boy from a village in Mooketsi.
Yeah.
And I'm here. I've got a wife who I met in TUT. I managed to marry. I've got kids that I managed to support. I've got the parents. And by the way, I'm some sort of a breadwinner because I'm the only one.
Yeah.
So I'm able to do a lot of things at home because of TUT. And when you tell people, I'll do anything for TUT to protect the space of TUT, people don't understand. Because you've got a lot of people depending on me. Yeah. And I'm thankful for TUT.
And the moment you started answering, I could see emotions overwhelming you slightly there.
Yeah, I know. Got me.
Yeah. All right. So what legacy do you hope to build through this important work that you are doing?
Look, like I said in the Mooketsi, it's not about Tebogo.
Yeah.
It's about the kid who's growing up now, not knowing where he or she is going to go.
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of the legacy that brought down TUT to its knees. I want to be in the good side of history to say, we had a Tebogo, we had this person that did this. So the legacy is to say, whatever we do today must benefit that kid that is not sure that he's going to be born yet.
Yeah.
So this thing must go beyond that. So it's not at the Tebogo. We must have a culture to serve those that choose us. So that's the legacy. We must serve those that choose us.
Sure. The conversation with Tebogo once again comes back to what many academics are saying. One way or the other, history will look back at us. It is how history will reflect us that will determine whether we are on the right side of history or not. Yes. But one day, we'll have to look back and maybe face history eyeball to eyeball. And I'm not sure if we will be proud of the contribution that we have played. Now, finally, which is quite sad given how enjoyable this conversation is. I've thoroughly, even before we wrap up the conversation, I've really picked up a lot from this particular conversation. But finally, for every graduate who's tuned in right now, what is your one powerful message to help them step confidently into the world of work and build a career with purpose?
I don't want to give you a textbook or, a theme. All I can say is that to whoever who's listening, you matter. The work that you do matters.
Sure.
If I could leave it just there. You matter. The work that you do matters. Because the other parts show up, learn, I've said.
Yeah.
But you matter.
That's what you have to remind yourself on a daily basis.
On a daily basis, because we fighting daily battles in our head of being, am I worthy? It's easy to be nasty, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
And very difficult to give compliments. So I'm simply saying, your presence, you matter. I don't want to give the reasons why you are here.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the work that you do by being where you are you matter.
Whatever work.
Whatever work, you matter to someone. Even if it's bad, you matter to someone. The police must exist. If it's good, so I'm just saying you matter.
Yeah.
And then, like we said, we hope you are on the right side of history.
Sure.
When we are called to account.
Sure. Yeah.
It would be a shame if I'm not saying this to say, in whatever you do, you must glorify God.
Sure. Glorify God.
Yes.
And that's where you'd leave it.
Please.
I've really enjoyed this particular conversation. And by the way, wish you very, very all the best.
Thank you.
I know you are, you have the foresight.
Yes.
And you've talked about your intentions, where you want to be and where you see yourself. Because it looks like you can see your future. You need to be able to see it in front, visualize it. And I wish you everything in what you are doing. I hope to bump into your way, having achieved everything that you've set to achieve. And thank you so much, Tebogo, for honoring us with not only your time, but your well of wisdom in shaping young students who are listening now. I really want to appreciate your time and you for that.
Thank you so much, Ntate Obakeng, and I wish the station all the best. And like I said, what you do matters.
Sure.
This thought-provoking innovation that you've done. I was listening when I was in Nelspruit.
Yes.
So you are doing what is needed right now.
Sure.
Thank you for this, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
And thank you to the team.
Wow. What a conversation. What a conversation. I suppose if anything at all, what I'll take, which I'll probably, because it's easy to forget, it's easy to get swallowed, right, by the stresses of whatever, combination of whatever. But I think what I would remind myself on a daily basis, even as I take a bath, perhaps I need to normalize this, is to remind myself why I'm doing what I'm doing. And remind myself once again, as Tebogo advised, that what I do matters.
Yes.
I want to appreciate. I'll take that personally. That is for me.
Thank you.
You're gonna have a safe trip. Hopefully, we'll have another conversation one of the days.
Thank you so much.
All right. Our guest tonight, wrapping up the conversation on that note, very seminal conversation. Tebogo Sehularo, Energy Manager at TUT. We were talking building a career with purpose, lessons with experience. That's how we draw our conversation to a close. We take a quick turn. We come back straight after this. We'll wrap up the show. Remember, Sai Harris as well as Tuli B will be coming through between the hour 9 and 12 on the Date Night Show.
Are you a recent graduate or know somebody who is navigating the job market maze? Are you looking for that perfect job opportunity to kickstart your career? Well, look